Welcome to the boardroom. I'm your host, the Chairman. Today on the agenda, we continue our playthrough of Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon. We are doing Chapter 1 of the campaign, and we are now up to Day 2. Our characters are as Ailey and Bior. So a little recap on what happened the first day. We began exploring around the village of Quannock. Ailey went to the west to investigate the charred conclave, and then returned to the village to have a dream about finding the recipe for reanimating or reinvigorating the menhirs. And apparently one of the hints that was given in dream said that you would find them among charred bodies. So maybe we'll have to go back there, because I didn't find anything except I think she found an item, if I remember correctly. It was this thing. I have no idea what that is. Wow. I'm having a hard time reading it. Just gonna... Mind-numbing draught. Okay. So I think it's some sort of a liquid that you have to drink when you get horror or something, I think. Anyway, that's what she found. She didn't find any hint about how to reanimate the menhirs once they go out. But I guess I'll have to go back there. And Bior, well, he tried his hand at small game hunting and was pretty successful, actually. I realized I was just finding the training wheels version of the combat encounters, but still. And both of them have ended their first day with a pretty hefty store of food. They both have 5 in the food resources, which means that they can go at least 5 days without having to worry about hunting again. So that should give us plenty of time to investigate on how to save the village without that particular concern, anyway. And now we're beginning with Day 2. And as usual, at the beginning of every day, we're going to take my little card. It's been a while since I've played. So start of day, remove the expired menhir, discard. Okay, so there's no discarded menhir because there's only one and it's still active. Reduce all time and menhir dial. So that's something that we have to do every day, because it's sort of the countdown to yeah. So we're down to 6. As you can, I'm not sure if you can see it. It's pretty hard to read on these metal dials, but I think they look cool. They add some weight to the miniature. Okay, so now that this is done, then we reveal the next event card. Now, during the event for the first day, we were, I think they told us. No, was that? No, okay. Yeah, that's the one we have to reveal. Chapter 1, Part 2. So, okay. Just letting you have a look at it without the glare. Alright. Homeless vagabonds roam the road and trails. Many hail from fishing villages further west, where the last menhirs went dark weeks ago. So, a fate that awaits us if we're not diligent in our pursuit. Though malformed and sick, they are the lucky ones. Their tales chills you to the bone. Is this the fate that awaits your lands? Well, apparently. So we have the option to help the refugee. Each player may spend 1 wealth or 1 food to gain 1 rep and 1 experiment point. Well, that's... Given the fact that we have plenty of food, I think that would be a good use. So, that's what I'll do. Both of them will expend 1. These blue cubes are worth 5, so I'll put back 4 food on Ailey's board. And then it gives her 1 experiment and 1 reputation, which, well, again, they're starting to get reputations. As for Bior, yeah, he's also going to spend the food. He's going to recoup 4 cubes for that. And then it's going to give him 1 reputation and 1 experience. Okay, so we did that. After which, place 5 minus 1 per player. So I mean 3 then? Because I'm playing like a 2-player game. Random additional event on top of the event deck. Discard. So I'm going to discard, and then I'm going to take... This is the random event. Those are things that happen every day that don't really have any bearing on the story. They're just random things that happen. So give them a good shuffle, and then 1, 2, 3. Right, and I'm going to place them on top. Okay, so now that we've settled the beginning, we can start playing. So, first, Haley. Now, she was to the Charred Conclave, and apparently the dream that she had in the village gave her the impression that she should return there to have a look and see. The thing is that when she enters the Charred Conclave, she has to draw an encounter card. I'm not sure I want to start with that. So maybe I'm not going to send her there quite yet. There's other places in the around the board that I want to explore with them anyway. So I think I'm going to literally send her to the Forlorn Sword in the south. So she expands 1 action. And then she moves down the south. The Forlorn Sword. Okay. So that was her turn. Now for Bior. I believe Bior, there was something that he could do on this village, which was trade with the townfolk. Pay 1 food to gain 1 wealth. I would cost 1 action to do that. And to be very honest, I'm not sure I want to do that. I've already... I mean, wealth may be... Yeah. You know what? I think I will. I don't know what use wealth will be, but like I said, I have plenty of food and I can still return there to hunt. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to expend an action for him, and then I'm going to spend 1 food to gain 1 wealth. So basically I'm moving a cube from here to here. Now he has 2 wealth. So that was Bior. Now as for Haley, pay 1 wealth. She doesn't have any wealth, so she can't draw any craftable item in this area. But I think I am going to explore this area, which means that I have to pay 1 action, and then we're going in the mode. Forlorn Sword and see what happens there. So that's 105. The Forlorn Swords. Just let you pause and read to your leisure if you like. So, you rest a while in the shade of titanic swords, their rusty smell causing your nose to tingle. 100 yards away, an elder smith toils, chipping at the jagged edges of the giant weapon. The hammer he uses to break apart the ancient steel seems very strange, as does the sound it makes. If there is a quest token on this location, go to verse 14. Well, there isn't. So, my options are as follows. Attempt to climb one of the swords. Is that gold I see up on the pommel? Go to verse 1. Try to talk with the smith. Go to verse 2. Rest in the shade of the sword. That would be go to verse 5, or leave. Okay. Does she have... yeah, she has the courage. I think I'm going to try to climb the sword. Attempt to climb on the sword. She doesn't have any wealth. Maybe that's going to be helpful for in her acquiring some. So, try a free climb, trusting your strength. Okay. Study the surface of the sword for the best approach. Pay 1 more action per party member. Add +2. And +1 for each point of... that would be my wounds. And since I'm not wounded, that would be +7. So I would throw a die plus... if I did that, I would throw a die +9. I think that's what I'll do. I'll just carefully try my best not to fall as I climb. Then roll the die and add +2, then +1 for each of my points. So that will be, yeah, like I said, +9. So I'm going to roll this die, and it's going to be +9, and we'll see what the result is. So that's, the result is 4. +9 means it's 13. Then go to verse 10 to check the result. Okay. Blast. 10 to 13. You slip several times, cutting yourself on the sharp edges before you reach the top. Each party member loses 1. Yeah. Okay. So lose 1 health. Loses 1 health. If there are no quest token on this location, go to verse 14. So verse 14. Sweaty and tired, you're now in a narrow niche that was once the sword's fuller. There you rest for a while, feasting your eyes on the wide open vistas of the island. From here you can see there are 2 more men here near Quannock. One sits between the mist-covered mounds of the 4 dwellers, another is in the hill near the accursed town known as Whitning, which is where Bior is right now. Put a quest token representing your progress on the location card. If you have no action left, you are too exhausted to go on, and the sun is already setting. Go to verse 15. Otherwise, choose one. Climb farther. Up. Which means I'm going to try my luck again. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to try to climb further up. So, again, I go to verse 1. And again, I'm going to pay one action to carefully study. Which means I get to throw a die +2, and I have to put a quest token. Quest tokens are these things. Although I might have to remove it almost immediately if I succeed, I think. I don't know. Maybe. And then I'm going to throw the die again. Let's see what the result will be. Now, unfortunately, I've been wounded, so it'll be this die +8. So I probably won't get as good a result. Well, I still get a 4, which means it's 12. My result is 12. Now, I go to verse 14. No, that's verse 10. Verse 10. So, 10 to 13. Again, you slip several times, cutting yourself on the sharp edges before you reach the top. Each party member loses a wound again. So I'm slowly slicing off my legs, doing that. If there's no quest token on the location card, go to verse 14. If there is one, remove it and go to verse 6. Well, there is one. I remove it. And then I go to verse 6. Okay, here's one of the interesting little things that they add in this game. I always found very cool. You can find the paragraph where you're supposed to go in the book by placing the dials. So I'm gonna get myself a couple of those dials. And it basically tells me the number I have to use. So I gotta place them correctly. So it will be like this. Like this. And like so. Which means that the numbers are 4, 7, 3. So I believe the paragraph I need to go is 473. So I'm going to try. Let's see if I have read this correctly. Just to make sure I didn't lose anything. Okay. So 473. That's right here. There is no 473. So I did not read correctly. I'm going to try that again. So this goes like this, and that is, yeah, that is the 4. That's the 7. And that is... Oh, no. I think I made a little mistake. That's not... I think that's the... Yeah, that's the 7. Yeah, that's 4. No. I completely misread that. That's the 2. That's not a 7. So that's 4, 2, 7. Okay. Now I've got it. 4, 2, 7. Let's see if that makes sense. 427. Yeah, that's right. That's the correct one. Okay. You did it! You pull yourself onto the sword's crossguard, as wide as a moat. Well, that's a big sword. Startled seabirds watch from their nest. You stretch your arms wide as if to embrace the entire island. From here, you can see incredible far-away places. The pale, smooth wall of the Four-Dweller Fortress to the northwest, the Castle of Camelot, far along the eastern shore, the reflective surface of the Mirror Lake, directly to the north, and the sacred Druid Moonring behind it. Then you discover that many parts of the sword's crossguard and pommel are still covered in gold. If you don't have part 1 of the Hidden Treasures status, each party member gains 1 experiment point and 2 wealth. And mark off part 1 of Hidden Treasures. So that's what I'll do immediately. So, Hidden Treasures. Hidden Treasures, part 1. And then that's 1 experiment and 2 wealth for Amy. She now has 2 experiment points. And 2 wealth. Okay. So that was a productive day for our little druid, but I think, and she has 1 action left. So I think she'll just complete her day by returning to Quannock, because if she, I don't think she can. It's a good idea for her to rest outside. Yeah. Okay, that's what I'll do. But first, now it's Bior's turn, and I think with Bior, I'm going to be exploring Whitening. So I'm going to pay an action for him, and then I'm going to go Whitening, which is 107. Location 107. Location 107. Okay, 108. 107. Whitening. The hole is here, as always, gaping right in the middle of Whitening. The white lichen that gave this town its new name seems to grow out of it. It covers the walls of the nearby hall with a thick coat. Only close up can one discover that it is, in fact, a layer of small, sparkling, crystal-like sea salt on the wooden post of a pier. As you inspect it, several people watch you suspiciously. If you have the Fail's Legacy status and don't have... okay. If you have the Wind of Weirdness and don't have Part 4 of Remedy, no, I don't. If you're playing Haley, no. Otherwise, go to verse 7. So, yeah, those are my only options. If you have 2 or more reputation, go to verse 12. Otherwise, go to verse 11. Well, he does, in fact, 2 or more. Have 2 or more reputation, so let's go to verse 12. Ask people to help you on your journey. Verse 4. Gather the white lichen. Verse 5. Inquire about Acolyte. Well, I have no idea who that is. Acolyte Brega. Well, I don't have it. The requirement needs require part one of Geraint's successor status, which I don't have. So, not sure. They were looking at giving me the evil eye earlier, so I'm not sure I'm going to ask them for help. I will, however, gather the white lichen. Maybe that's going to be relevant at some point. Go to verse 5. People watch horrified as you pluck the lichen with your own hands and stuff it into a small deerskin pouch. Sometime later, you open the bag only to find that some of the lichen is gone. For whatever reason, it seems to be slowly disappear once it's removed from the main body. Gain the secret card 32. Place a time token and dial on the secret and set it to 3. At the start of each day, reduce the dial by 1. Once the dial runs out, discard the secret card. You may then earn it again. Okay. Exploration ends. So, first I'm going to have to go and get the secret card 32. They're all in numerical order, so that's going to be easy to find. Then I'm going to need a time dial, which are these golden tokens here. I'm not sure. Maybe those were the quest dials and the gray ones. Yeah. Now that's where I made a little mistake earlier. See, there's a little hourglass on the gray one, which indicates that it's the time dial, and a little grail, which is the quest dial. So, well, let's do it. That doesn't really change much of anything, but let's do it properly anyway. And then we have to put it to 3. And like I said, these numbers are very hard to read. I'm almost tempted to start using the plastic ones, because at least the plastic ones are... Okay, yeah, I got it. So I have to put it, on 3. And what does that card do anyway? Pale crystal. Okay, but what's the use of that thing? Just says that it's gonna run out in 3 days, but it doesn't tell me exactly what it does. It's probably something that I need to have at some point on a quest. Well, we'll find out. But for right now, that's what he did in Whitening. And yeah, that was his action. Now we're back to Ailey, which, as I said, she'll spend her last action of the day to return to Quannock, so she can sleep cozily in her bed. And Bior has 2 more actions. Now I wanted to send him maybe to explore the Charred Conclave, since we've discovered in the dream that this is where we might find something. So I think that's what I'll do. But when he arrives, however, he's going to have to face a great encounter. That's an instant occurrence. Oh, I completely forgot. Earlier, I was supposed to place a new card here, because when you discover the areas like that, you can explore further. So that would be Area 108, Grubwood. And I'm going to place it here. It doesn't really change much, since I had no intention of going there anyway. At least not right now. But now it's done. Okay. So, yeah. He's going to pay 1 action. He pays his 1 action to just go down here. And when you arrive, draw 1 gray encounter in this location once per day. So, let's see what happens. Local Squire. In the lands of abandoned castles and decimated nobility, many squires lack someone to knight them. Okay, so wow, I have to defeat this guy. And if I do, he can injure me pretty seriously. But if I do defeat him, I can gain 2 wealth. Alright, well, let's try it. So, Bior. That's his combat deck. I'm not sure if I have to reshuffle the cards in every time, but I'm still gonna do it. If someone wants to tell me in the comment section whether or not I'm mistaken here, just please feel to do so. Feel free to do so. Alright. Now, a little reminder on how combat works. So how many cards do I... Combat overview. Okay, so it's draw 3 cards. So, let's see what cards I will draw for Bior. Okay, Old Guard, Final Blow. Huh. Yeah, that would be that would be the attack I would use if I were to successfully kill him. He has practicality. Yeah. If I were to use this card, what would be the result? So I would just do 2 damage to him. Yeah, and if I do 2 damage, and I lose 1 health, and I lose 1 damage. However, when I do this, yeah, I have a good chance of actually doing some damage to him with a toss of the dial. And the sequence ends with a... yeah, my battle... No, that's... No, she has the shield. What does he... I don't even... No, he doesn't have any items. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm going to be using for my attack. I'm going to be using risky attack. And then I'm going to take one dial, toss the dial, and hope to gain a grail. Because if I gain a skull, and I get an additional 2 damage. I mean, he can take it, but I'd rather he didn't. Damn. I'm going to throw it again because I dropped the coin. So... what is it? Yeah, that's the Grail. Excellent. So which means that I do 2 damage to him. Plus I do another 2 damage because of those 2 connected, which I did 1 with the damage, and I did the 1 because I have at least 1 practicality. So that's 4 out of the 7 that I need. Okay, so now that it's his turn, And my defense is going to be, he does 2 damage to me. Because he's up to 4, so he's getting worried. And now I would actually need to do at least 3 more damage to him to defeat him, otherwise he runs away. If it ends at 6. If it ends at 5, he does 3 damage to me, which is going to be rather painful. 1, 2. Okay. But I draw a new card. And then the battle continues. Okay. So can I use this? Not really. The final blow is not going to work for him. Oh yes, I think I'm going to be able to. So I'm going to use, first I'm going to use Crippling Strike, which I don't have the practicality, so I can't, I have 1 and I need to use this one. But however, I do gain 1 more damage to him. And the thing is that I can now use this card here. Because I have the courage here, which this card means that it's a second action card that I can use in the turn. So I do 1 damage, and I do 2 because I have the aggression. Which means that I do 3 more, I do 8 damage to him, and it's enough to defeat him. Well, that wasn't too painful. And this encounter nets me 2 wealth. So Bior is starting to have a pretty heavy purse. And we have dealt with the squire. It cost me 2 wounds, but, well, I'm still alive. So I'm going to pick up these cards up. Okay, I'm going to put them down here. And okay, he has 1 action left. Now Ailey's turn is over, so I don't have to worry about her anymore. He has 1 action left, so I could explore the Charred Conclave, but I don't think that's a good idea. I think I'd rather wait until tomorrow. So yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, he's gonna end his day there as well, and that'll be that. So, what's the end of the day again? Consume 1 food to restore 1 wound and lose 1 horror. So, well, they're both going to consume food. I'm going to start with Haley. Okay. And then she's going to gain back 1 wound. She incurred 2 of them. And it allows her to recoup her entire action set, because otherwise she would have been penalized. And she's dreaming at the Quanak village, but I've already read the dream sequence there, and there's nothing new on this card, so there's no point of me going through that again. Okay, as for Bior, he's also going to eat, but his food store is getting a little lower. It will allow him to regain 1 wound, and he's going to recoup his action all the way up to 6. And there is a dream sequence at the Charred Conclave, so I'm gonna go read that. 104. Alright, dream. It's not a... yeah, it's a dream. So, in your dream, you flee from the rolling waves of darkness slowly consuming the land behind you. You'll try to pick your path carefully, making sure to gather ample provision along the way, and to rekindle any menhir you find. So, basically telling us what we're supposed to do, I think. After a while, the wave catches up with you and swallows you whole. Oh, that's ominous. You come back to the start of the dream. This time, flee as fast as your legs can carry, but hunger, dead ends, and beasts of the land quickly end your life. Hint: to survive, you need to move fast, but not at the cost of resources or survival tracks. So yeah, that's basically the dream is telling you how to play the game. That's that's very nice of it. Okay, so now we're up to, and we're starting day. No. I think I skipped a step. I have experience. I'm not sure if I have enough to spend it, but I will have a look on my cards to see if there's something I can do with those. 2 experiment, that's not a lot, but maybe that's enough to do something. Yeah, I could gain 1 point in an attribute. Gain the first point in an attribute. Do I have any attribute that doesn't have any pair attribute? No. Both of them have at least 1 in each of the paired attributes. Which means that if I'm going to spend to gain a 2nd point, either in her case 2 practicality or spirituality, or in the case of Bior, that would be 1 spirituality, that's, or another practicality. Anyway, to gain a 2nd point, I would need 4 experiment points. To gain a 3rd, I would need 6. To gain a 4th, I would need 8 and 10. But I also can spend 2 experiment points to draw 3 combat cards or diplomacy cards. Choose one and shuffle it in my pool, my combat pool, which would increase my chances of combat. But nope, right now that's not what I want to do. I'm hoping to increase maybe my stats a little. So, yeah, I'm not going to spend the experiment points for the moment. Now we're just going to go to day 3. Now at the beginning of the day, as usual, we have to reduce the dial on every... Oh, I'm also going to have to reduce the number on my secret card. And I have to reduce the dial on... Okay, when you reduce it, you move it here. So we still have now 5 days to find a solution to this problem. And this dial goes down to 2. And then I'm going to put it back here. So in 2 days, this crystalline salt that I gathered in whitening is going to disappear. But they said I could gain more if I go back there. And maybe I'll see if it has any use at some point. So, day 3. Now we have to pick a random event, and that's going to be this one. Good weather. Your first travel today costs 1 action less. Experienced journeyman knows to make the most of decent weather while it lasts. Well, that's what I intend to do. So when they travel, it's going to cost them 1 less action, which is very good. I am tempted to send Ailey to the warrior fair, because her movement would actually cost her no action. And she could spend 4 action to gain 1 experiment point, which would net her a second stat. Maybe. No. That's only 1 experiment, and I would need 2. No. That would be a waste of time right now. Not today. So I'm gonna plan my day better with them. I might send her to do some hunting, as her food is getting low. And also, there were other places that she could explore in these areas in the north over there. As for Bior, well, he's going to do what he came here to do, which is find whatever we're supposed to find in the Charred Conclave among the burnt druids. Okay. So, this is connected, I think. Yeah, yes. Oh, damn. Again. No, I don't have to reveal this one because it's too far away from the main here. There is supposed to be 1 main here also, and 1 here, as indicated. But since they're not activated, I'm not gonna place the miniatures there yet. I'll do it when I activate them. This doesn't change anything; it just clutters the board a little more. And right now we can't awaken them anyway. Okay, so first thing first, Ailey's gonna travel to the hunting grove. She's gonna stay there. Maybe I'm gonna hunt while I'm there. Might as well. Okay, Bior. Now he's gonna do an exploration of the Charred Conclave. So her action, her first action was free. His, however, is not. Okay, the Charred Conclave. I'm not gonna read it out loud again because, well, I've already done it once. It's the first video. Just a bunch of druid that are burned in a wooden cage. So the actions I can take. If you're playing Maggot, no, I'm not. He's not in the party, so yep, that settles that. Stay a while and listen. Go to verse 1. Dig through the remains, verse 2. Okay. I'm going to do the stay a while and listen. You stand for a while, pondering whether this massacre was justified. The druids were blamed for the return of the Red Death, but without them the plague kept on, while the menhirs weakened. The whispers in the wind become louder with every minute. There's still some life left in the burnt-out husks. You wonder what knowledge or madness they can bestow. Learn from the Conclave. Pay 1 action per party member. Well, I'm going to pay 1 action with Bior. And then go to verse 10. Let's see what happens in verse 10. The lipless mouth sneer at you. The melted fingers seem to beckon and call you. An angry whisper grows like the sound of the sea. Finally realize they want you to come inside. To step behind the charred bars, where their black arms and melted fingers may close around you. Into a place where your life would have ended with theirs. So go inside requires Maggot or at least 1 spirituality, which I don't have. Put your ears to the bar and gather what you can from here. Well, that's what I'm going to have to do. 5. After a while, you learn to distinguish similar voices in the maddening cacophony of whispers. Several threaten you or throw curses for what your kin have done to the druids. Some cry out in agonizing pain. One describes a secret evocation and a forgotten ritual. If you have at least 3 magic, go to verse 7. Each party member gains 1 magic. Each party member who has at least 1 empathy gains 1 madness, 1 terror. Exploration ends. Okay. So at least I've gained 1 magic. All the good it'll do. But I believe I can stay here for a while and actually gather enough magic to eventually go to verse 7, which is what I'm going to do. So, because they don't say that it's a one-time action. Now Haley is going to pay 2 actions to gather food and then draw a green encounter. That might be dangerous, but not having food is also quite hazardous. So she gathers 2 food by she pays 2 action. And she gathers 2 food. Now back up to 5. But I have to draw a green encounter. So let's see what happens. Glade hare. Well, that's a rabbit. And well, that would be nice if I managed to defeat it, or in this case would probably be capture it. Yeah, okay. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to get this silly rabbit. Three cards. So to have the best result, I would need to kill it instantly. And I believe I might okay. Now if I were to put this card here, I have practicality, so I would be able unfortunately I can't, but well it actually can't do any damage. The worst they can do is cause me some actions. So, and I draw a card by playing this one. And whenever times 2, yeah, I do a damage to it because I have 1 practicality. And then I draw a card. Maybe that's something I can... Okay. Alright, I can't do anything else because none of the cards can be added to this sequence. So now it's up to the enemy, and since I have at least 1 or 2, I just lose 1 action. I'm running around this rabbit. Okay, and then I draw a card. Do I draw a card? Is there a minimum number when to draw a card at the end of every turn? I'm not sure. Diplomacy overview, combat over. End of turn, discard down to 3 card. So if I had more, yeah, I can draw 1. So I'm gonna draw, and yeah, those were combat cards. So I'm gonna draw another combat card. Okay. Now, I'm not sure. I think the first one doesn't need to be connected to anything. But it doesn't really matter. I can play this card, and I'm going to do 2. Even if this one doesn't work, I'm going to place 2 more cubes on the Glade here. He has 3. That was enough to defeat it. I gain 2 food. I discard this card, and then I'm done. Cost me 1 more action, but at least my food store is pretty full right now. And this card is gonna go under here. Okay. That was Haley. Now Bior, well, like I said, he's just gonna do exactly the same thing he did the last time. Gonna cost him 1 action, and it's gonna net him 1 magic. So now he now has magic 2. Magic 2 magics, and that's all he's gonna do. Now Haley, I'm wondering if I want to travel. How many actions does she have left? She has 2. What's up there? Just the Mirror Lake. Rest by the lake. Gain 1 action. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So it's going to pay 1 action. And she's going to go up there. And that's going to be her turn right now. Now Bior is going to pay 1 action again. And it's going to get him another cube of magic. Basically, he's spending his entire day listening to the desiccated or burnt corpses instruct him on their horrible fate and what a terrible person he was for not stopping it, or something of that nature. But apparently, he can glean some hints of magic as a result. Maybe not that dumb. Okay. Haley. She's going to rest by the lake. It costs 0 action. It allows her to gain 1 action. No, it's not. 1 action. So she's going to go back up here. She's going to... And one life, and she's gonna lose 1 terror, but she doesn't have any. And she has 2 actions left, so she can return to the village and not... I'm not sure if she goes... Yeah, traumatize. You can't reduce terror. Oh. She can't reduce terror when she's in a location... But she doesn't have any terror right now, so I think she's going to stay there. maybe explore the Mirror Lake. For Bior, his actions are done, and he can't. It's not a good idea for him to do anything else once he's down to 2 actions left, because yeah, that's not a good idea. So he's just gonna stay there for the moment. Tomorrow, maybe the day when we reveal what happened in the chart counts. Okay, so his turn is done. Now, Haley. Haley is going to explore location 113. So it's going to cost her 1 action. Let's see what we can find here. The Mirror Lake. The Mirror Lake. If you have the Winds of Weirdness, I don't think I do, but just check it out. I don't think I do. Winds, nope, I don't. Winds of Weirdness status or Matricide status, remove this location. Oh, well, I don't have either. The sky and reflective surface of this calm highland lake merge into one before your eyes. Oh, that looks picturesque. A feeling of serenity washes over you. You feel tempted to lie down on the sandy banks and stay there until the end of the world. But then stories of the alien being living in the lake's depth, reverberate in the back of your mind, bringing you back to Earth. Summon the lady. But why would she listen to you? Oh, that's where the Lady of the Lake is supposed to be. Swim to the island on the... Yeah, that looks like a very bad idea. Hunt. Judging from the track, I could hunt animals here, but no, she has plenty of food. I'm not risking another encounter. You know what? I'm going to try to summon the lady. Let's see what happens. You stand a while in front of the reflective surface, attempting various courteous pleas, but the wind carries each away without a response. After a while, you can't help but feel silly. Why did you even come here? A dirty lowborn trying to speak to a legend that may not even exist. If there's a time token at this location, or if you have the Moonring mission status, the Pale Lady won't come. Exploration ends. Well, that's it. Exploration ends. So, yeah. I'm not going to try to swim. I'm going to end my day right here. So, as the end of the day, we have to consume a food so we can recoup our losses, or at least not incur any new ones. Then my actions go back to 7. I don't lose any terror, but I didn't gain any, so I don't really care. And Bior, Bior, you're gonna have to go hunting, buddy. Then he also recoups his wound back up to full health. And his actions back up to full again. There is a dream sequence in the Mirror Lake. I'm not going to read the Charred Conclave dream sequence again, but I will read the Mirror Lake and see what Ailey dreams of there. That could prove interesting. Or it's just maybe just more hints. Okay, dream. You see 4 wanderers, still shaken by the loss of their companion, entering the misty expanses of Tuathan. They wander between its ever-shifting streets and impossible structures. They find something hidden away for a long time. All 4 barely leave with their lives. But now a 5th follow, Your dream ends as you enter a sprawling expanse marked with enormous white sigils. Gain Part 1 of Dreams and Prophecy status. The first expedition visited Tuathan and passed through Stampede while running from something. An interesting little side note. And what was it that they said? It was Part 1 of Dreams and Prophecies. So let's mark it down. Part 1 of Dreams and Prophecies. Dreams and Prophecies. And there's a lot of parts to it. Yeah, Part 1 has been marked down. Okay. So our day is done. Experiments wise, I'm still not gonna spend any. Now we're up to day... That was day 3. If I remember correctly. I think I'm gonna end it here. Yeah, 2 days of exploration is more than enough. That's gonna be a good video to upload. I'll just return to the day 4 and onwards in the next video. So I hope you enjoyed this playthrough. I certainly am starting to enjoy this game quite a lot indeed. In fact, I like the storytelling elements of it there. It's very well written. I hope I am doing it credit. So this has been the continuing playthrough of Tainted Grail, Fall of Avalon. I am the chairman, bidding you a fond farewell until your next visit to the boardroom.